In this video, I'm going to share how you can automate your customer support tickets very easily, leading to higher customer satisfaction in the experience, and also immediate responses that are actually relevant. So you know, sometimes with tickets now, you send a customer ticket to a company and there's an automated response saying, hey, you know what, read these FAQs, we'll get back to you when we can, blah, 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 blah. Your question might be as simple as, where is my red whatever, or I got the wrong color, or when is my shipment coming, or whatever that is. And it could be something with e-com, with SaaS, with consulting, it doesn't matter. But that's typically what happens. Now with this system, we have AI that can actually find the exact answer that they're looking for and send it to them, whether it's Zendex, email, whatever, send it to them ASAP, like within a minute. And that really leads to excellent customer support, because it's going to basically go into your system and find out when their shipment is due. It's also going to use FAQs that you have, or data that you have about your company, or previous queries that you've had that you like the answers. We can upload that into a knowledge database, and then the AI can read that and respond accordingly. And the best part about this is you can have something called a human in the loop, which is where you can have someone, instead of having 4 or 5 people doing customer support, I know many of you have more than that, but just for an example purposes, if you have someone doing all these people doing customer support, now you can have one person doing customer support, because the response is written by AI in a polite and in the exact way that you want it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in this, this is N8N. This is one of the workflows, one of the low codes that we use. A lot of times we have to do Python scripting as well, but just for this purpose, I thought I'd share this with you. So you can see here, let's just say it's a Gmail trigger. Like let's say you have support via Gmail. You can also use Zendex. You can use whatever, but for this purpose, I want to just show you using Gmail. So after we get Gmail, you get an email support saying, blah, 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 blah. I want this, I want that. Then what we can do is we can click on this set content, and then we can use, okay, well, how are we going to read this email? So we're going to use the email body. And there's different other little things that we do in here that will parse the data and get the data that we need so we know how to respond. And that's really what that is for. And then cool thing about this is that customer support evaluation. So let me double click on this and show you what the prompt actually looks like and how we actually do this. So in this case, we're using OpenAI. In this case, I would use probably 4.0 mini, because this is not a really advanced thing to do. Depends though on the case. Sometimes we use a higher one, and sometimes we'll use Perplexity or Claude. It depends. But in this case, I just thought I'd use OpenAI. And you can see here it says, let me make this bigger so you guys can see this. So the prompt is, analyze the content of the following email and determine whether it is related to customer support. If the email pertains to any of the following topics, then mark it as true, otherwise mark it as false. In other words, we're trying to find out in all those emails that we're getting, which ones are actually customer support. And obviously we can customize this based on your business. And then we definitely want the information to be output via JSON, okay? And then the cool thing about that, so then it's like, okay, well, is it customer support or is it not customer support, right? So there are certain rules that we have about that. Remember we said if it's true, if it has those specific keywords in them, that's true, then it's customer support. And if it's not, it doesn't have those keywords, it's something else, then it's not customer support. Then we go, let's say, so it's not customer support, so obviously it's not customer support. You can get funneled to the right channel. Or we can also, by the way, we can use multiple channels in this. So let's say it's not customer support, but it's about accounting. We can create a whole flow for accounting. I didn't get my invoice. This amount is wrong, whatever that is. Or this is the wrong receipt, or whatever that is. But for this purpose, let's just talk about customer support. So now we say, okay, yes, this is customer support. So then it goes to a customer support agent. Now here's a really cool thing about this. We are not just using, for example, ChatGPT in this case to tell us how to respond to this query. We're also using called a vector or pinecone. These are databases. So remember I was talking about a knowledge database. So we can have all the previous queries that you've had and all the answers that you've had, we can put that into a database. It's called a vector database or a knowledge base. And then we can use that to answer questions. You can also put your FAQs in there. You can put data about your company. It's unlimited the amount of data that we can use to put into these knowledge base platforms, which is so cool because you're not just randomly saying things. It's actually pertaining to exactly what they want to know. It's exactly how a human would answer it. However, if you get a support ticket at 3 o'clock in the morning, chances are you don't have a human that's answering it, or if you do, it's costing you a lot of money. In this case, 24/7, 365, this is constantly running to answer these queries. So again, it goes to a customer support agent, as I mentioned. Let me just double click this so you guys can see this. And we use certain, again, let me just pop this up here so you guys can see this. So it just basically says here, I'm gonna give you guys a prompt, so if you want to do this yourself, you can. You're a highly skilled and empathetic customer service agent specializing in drafting professional and helpful responses to incoming customer emails. Again, we can do Zendex, we can do tickets, it doesn't matter. In this case, we did email. So you can see here, ticket incoming support is giving directions on what to do. Use the customer support docs. So we might have multiple knowledge bases in here, but in this case, we just have support docs. And then directly address the customer's query. This is key now. If you don't say this, it'll just kind of randomly say things, but you want to directly answer the query. Make sure you give the right tone, and then you can end with, customer support, ABC Corp, whatever. And again, that's curtailed to each client. And look what I wrote here. You must use the customer support docs tool before drafting. This is key, because if you're just relying on AI, it's probably not going to work. But you have to have a custom knowledge base with your specific data in there, so that the AI knows how to respond accordingly. Okay. And then we give it some examples. As you know, with AI, you've got to give it examples or it's going to hallucinate, right? So, this example, this person, an example said, I ordered a product a week ago, but it still hasn't shipped. When will it arrive, right? So, got to go to the customer support docs, and it's under shipping timelines, relevant information, and then you can see here's a draft. Thank you for reaching out regarding your order. Standard shipping typically takes 7 to 10 business days. However, during high demand periods, there will be a slight delay. This is just a classic, from your FAQs, how long shipping takes. The cool thing about it is, again, this is AI now. I've checked your order and it's currently being prepared for shipment. You should receive a tracking number shortly. If you have any further questions, feel free to let me know, blah, blah, blah. All written by AI, all sent within about a minute of this person sending this customer support. Now just imagine how referrals go up, repeat purchases go up, the customer experience increases, the whole business increases just from this simple thing. And obviously your costs go down because the people that are doing customer support now, you can have them doing higher priority tasks in your company to make sure they're actually, you're getting your biggest bang for your buck, okay? So that's really the cool thing about it. Now there's one last thing I want to show you. So then you set the response. One last thing I want to show you is we do something called the human in the loop. So for example, let's say you're not really sure about this. You're like, I don't know about this AI thing. I'm not sure if it's going to work for our business. I'm a little bit nervous. I understand that. So what we do is we do something called a human in the loop. A human in the loop, you can keep that human in the loop for as long as you're, doing this. Or you can say, okay, listen, for the first 200 queries, I want to know for sure that the response sounds exactly like a human and it's giving a great customer experience. So you can do 200-300 of these where you have one person, or two people if you want, but usually it's one person that has to approve of that response every time it comes in. And then if they say, it's not just that they have to approve of it, they can revise it, and then it goes back into the system, and then the AI will then read it again based on the revision from the human in the loop, if you will. And so for example, the revision might be, this email that you wrote is rude, make it more polite, or anything. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you put that human in the loop and you can tell the system of how to respond. And this is key now. Just imagine you have one person instead of 20 or 30 or 50 or whatever doing this one job. Then after a while, the system will learn about what is beneficial for your company because of all these revisions. Then the next 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 queries, it'll be answered exactly as you want within a minute or 2 minutes, but usually it's actually within seconds, giving a better customer experience, increasing referrals, and obviously increasing revenue. So I hope that helps. Hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much.